Hello, my name is Barry Parks, and for my Capstone project, I decided to analyze Walmart Incorporated. Starting off with the history, it was founded by Sam Walton in 1945 whenever he purchased a franchise of Ben Franklin, which was kind of a discount store at the time, discount variety store, and it eventually went public in 1970 and decided to expand internationally into Mexico in 1990. Today, it's the largest single company employer with over 2 million employees, and it has over 4,700 locations. The current CEO is Doug McMillon. So Walmart operates within the wholesale and retail industry. This industry is focused on the buying and selling of products. Wholesale is in bulk, retail is in smaller quantities. Uh, Walmart is currently the leader in the industry. Amazon is following behind them in second, and Costco in third. They also compete with Kroger, Alibaba, and Home Depot. The industry has seen over $1 trillion in revenue with the year of 2020. Its current leading trend is the online shopping, which the industry calls e-commerce. And it's a global industry. It exists in every country around the world. So what are the driving forces of change for the industry? Typically, these companies bend to the wills and needs of the customer. What kind of products do they need? What kind of services do they need? How quickly do they need to get these products? Um, they're also forced to change due to costs of supplies and also the availability of supplies. Walmart in particular, they do sell a lot of products that you can find in any Walmart store. However, they also do sell some products that are very specific to the individual store's location. Um, they also tend to change whenever a new competitor enters the market with a new structure or idea or functionality that is gaining them a lot of market share. Good example of this would be Amazon coming in and just kind of dominating the e-commerce industry and really showing that online sales are the way of the future. The most important five force in this industry is the power of buying. That is because it's very low cost for an individual customer to switch to a competitor, and most of their businesses comes from a single group. This group would most likely being the group of individuals that are looking for the lowest possible prices to save the most money. They're also kind of at the mercy of the prices. If they aren't able to provide those prices, then they're going to lose a lot of customers. How attractive is the industry? Well, for the private investor, it's not very attractive. It's a very low risk, low reward. There's not much expansion happening. You don't see a lot of new and creative ideas coming into the market. The newest one kind of being online shopping and retail. Um, it's also for companies that are looking to enter into the industry, it's an extremely high price of entry. There's a lot of upstart costs that are needed in order to get into the industry and compete with a lot of these big names. So Walmart is currently employing the cost leadership structure. So they offer lower prices than a lot of their competitors, which drives a lot of sales and makes them the current leader in the industry. They're the largest retailer in the industry, and um, They have also started entering into the e-commerce. There's a lot of room for expansion there, but that's a pretty great opportunity for them. Now, some of the weaknesses, they offer a lot of the same products as their competitors do. So if a customer wants to switch services, they're really not at that much of a disadvantage if they have like a product loyalty. And they also are, because they are an international company, they are also kind of subject to the changes of laws and also the cultural differences of foreign markets. They need to make sure that they're following all rules and not just still operating under the same guidelines that they have here in the US. So as I said before, the cost leadership strategy, they offer the lowest prices out of any of their competitors. They keep reducing their operating costs, which allows them to keep reducing their prices and retain their competitive advantage. How has Walmart grown? Well, they've taken loans from banks starting in the mid to late 60s. They eventually had their initial public offering in 1970. The stock blew up. It was very, very highly valued. If within the first year they actually ended up splitting the stock once it hit $47 in 1970, that's a lot of money. And within the next couple of years, it ended up hitting $47 again, and they decided to split it again. They also reinvest their revenues and profits into expanding the business, so they reinvest into themselves. They also are always looking for developing markets and the large opportunities of growth that a lot of the developing markets offer. Now, they were able to diversify themselves by kind of delving into related businesses. For example, they created the Great Value brand, which is able to offer alternative products to ones that they already sell in store, but at a much lower cost. They don't have to worry about the markup prices. So typically, these are selling for much, much lower prices than the name brands that a lot of people are used to. They also created Sam's Club. It's another retailer and wholesaler. The difference with Sam's Club is that it's a membership only. It delves into that membership only segment of the wholesaler and retailer industry, which Costco typically has had a pretty overwhelming market share in before Walmart entered into it. Amazon also enters into it now with their Amazon Prime service. They've also invested into foreign retail franchises. Again, this is mostly retailer and wholesaler related. So while it is some diversification into foreign markets, it's still the same industry and still these companies are still very related. They've also purchased other companies that they've been able to sell their products in Walmart for much lower costs, such as Shoebuy and Bonobos. They offer shoes, clothing, and accessories that can be sold within Walmart at much lower prices. And they also bought JetBlue or Jet.com, which provided a lot of the online retailing infrastructure that Walmart has today. So their method for foreign markets, they didn't change their method much. They pretty much use the same strategies as the US, offering low prices, keeping a lot of the same corporate policies that they had here in the US in foreign countries. This worked well in for all of the other countries in North America, Canada, Mexico. Um, And a lot of the countries in South America. Brazil specifically is another country that Walmart has been extremely successful in. They struggled a bit in Europe, though. A lot of a lot of countries they succeeded in, but in a couple of countries they ran into issues with breaking some union agreements as well as violating a couple of labor laws that they didn't realize were different in these countries and were different than the US. They thought that they would have a little bit more power with the unions like they do here in the US, but the unions actually carry a lot more power in other countries. Um, a great example of this would be Germany. They were actually forced to close for a while due to so many violations. Walmart really, really failed in Asia whenever it started to try and expand there. They used a lot of their same methods, mottos, lower prices. While that seems good here in the US, some Asian countries actually correlate the low prices with low quality and would actually avoid Walmart. They were forced to kind of close down, and in the end, they ended up kind of deciding to just purchase existing retailers in Asia so that they could operate, but they would learn from their mistakes and kind of let them still operate and be successful on their own. So Walmart structure, it's a bit of a combination between a hierarchy, going straight down the line from the lowest employees in an individual store all the way up to the CEO. Everybody answers to somebody. But they also have functional groups that don't necessarily have direct superiors, but instead um, kind of offer support horizontally to different stores and other departments. Good example of this would be human resources, which serves all stores, and also the IT department, which would be servicing all stores, the online shopping, um, anything like that. The advantage here, you have a clear direction of goals being passed down straight from the top all the way to the bottom. One of the disadvantages, though, goals can be unrealistic for stores with smaller communities. These individual stores, they might not have the same sales that a store has in a much more urban populated area. So, what kind of code of conduct does Walmart have? Well, it's broken down into four sections. Respect the individual is the first section. It's about respecting the employee, their ideas, listening to them, treating them as human beings. Their Then the second part is the service to the customer, which means understanding customer needs and also anticipating them, saving time for the customer and kind of reducing those issues that a customer might have. The strive for excellence is all about improving work ethic and new ideas, kind of always looking to improve the business, act with integrity, taking responsibility for the job that the employees do. Their social responsibility, they have a statement of human rights and they try and follow all labor laws. Especially now, they've made this statement in 2018. They've kind of learned from their mistakes in other countries. They also try and hold their suppliers to the same standards that they do. Well, thanks for listening. If you want to check out any of the things that I talked about, here's a list of my references. There's a lot of references here, a lot of material. Broke it up into two parts. Thank you.